Lighter, faster, more powerful is how the new 2024 irons will be described. But unless you buy a 45-gram graphite shaft with 2 inches longer on the end, you're not really going to see that considerable difference in terms of club head speed. And thank you to MUFC who commented on my last video. How do you get effortless club head speed? So before you go and buy a brand new set of irons to plaster over the problem, let me show you why you haven't been able to do this in the past, the drills that you're now going to use over the winter to gain more speed, and ultimately answer the question, how far should you be swinging a 7-iron? Now, we're not going to do anything revolutionary. However, I'm a very feel-based player. I love giving my clients the feeling that I have and trying to get drills that demonstrates it straight to them. For example, we all know about lag, trying to hold this angle off for as long as possible, and then releasing the club so the club basically comes bang on line with our left arm, right at the point of impact. Not to mention, we know we need weight transfer and we need our hip to be turning at impact. But in my earlier years as a golf coach, trying to get someone to do this and this at the same time whilst hitting a tiny little ball with, let's be honest, a metal stick, inherently this probably happens. So not only is this drill going to help all of you guys to gain club head speed, but actually it's going to help you guys that do tend to shank the ball and have incredibly high launch angles. Because an easy compromise for someone that shanks the ball is actually to come over the top and cast the club at the same time, so that if you have very little hip movement in the lower half, well, you can kind of get away with it. The only issue is you're leaving club head speed on the table. Not to mention, typically, your launch angle is going to be way too high for the particular club that you have in your hand, meaning you're getting poor strike, high launch, and for your club head speed, not really that much distance. I love this drill as it's a light bulb moment for a lot of golfers, especially when people come into here for the first time wanting more speed, and a flat out full swing goes roughly 74 miles an hour, and I'll tell you what kind of speed we're hoping for this, or I hope for my clients to swing their iron much more towards the end. Because I'm telling all of you now, you are efficient at certain points in your swing, yet most of it, 60% of it, is essentially wasted. Which is why guys that have shanked the ball for a long time, or people that haven't been able to gain club head speed, all of a sudden, keeping the club somewhat parallel to the ground here, we're not going to take it back, and I ask them purely just to hit the ball as hard as they possibly can. Not only do we see the hip engaging the downswing sequence, we actually see that lead arm ahead of the golf ball. The beauty about this is that you can just do this at home. Club parallel to the ground, try and get as much speed as you can. This is all about speed. The next 3 months over the winter, great time to get faster in your golf swing. The point is we're trying to get the feeling of gaining club head speed with the only parts of the body you're able to use. As soon as we go up here or up here, you're more concerned about hitting the golf ball. Not to mention we can now use our shoulders and we can use the upper half of our body. From here, you can't use any of that. And the best bit is when I get people used to that drill straight away and I say, now you're actually allowed to use some momentum. So rather than starting from here, we can go from here and then into the golf ball. 9 times out of 10, they can swing just as fast using 30% the length of backswing as they could all the way up here. Now, if you live near a local top tracer range or you have a launch monitor, I highly recommend doing this each week. 10, 20 balls, getting used to the idea of getting as fast as you can from there. Because I can guarantee you, as you lengthen it with the right efficiency, you're going to get faster. I want to show you guys the 3 lengths of swing just in slow motion so you get to see them. The one where I'm parallel, then obviously the one where I've put a bit of motion into it, and then my full swing. Notice how the iron is completely in line with my left arm at the point of impact, with all 3 swings. It is all about timing golf, and that's essentially it. I can gain the club head speed or effortless power, let's say, because every time I get to the ball, this is the last movement, and I'm using the lower half of the body to gain 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, so that when I do this, it then equals 100, 105. Oh, 105 on the dot. For those players that do tend to shank the ball, and let's say you're getting good from here and then you go up high and you end up shanking it, just go back to stage 1, gain a bit of confidence. And ultimately for those guys, there's no wonder when you do a half swing or a punch shot, you almost get the same amount of distance. You're getting the same amount of power from here. Not to mention the 7-iron's actually at the proper loft opposed to being scooped here. And all we're trying to do is get that efficiency wound up to the top of the swing, and you're getting used to this hip turn going out to the left-hand side, so your hands and the club are staying in, opposed to early extension and these hands coming away from the body. 85 miles an hour is the goal with an iron, and let me show you why. I'm not saying you can't be a good golfer if you swing less than 85 miles an hour. I know plenty of seniors that play off single figures, 4, 5, 6, that only hit their driver 210. But they've got 50 years under their belt, and they're just as accurate from 160 out with a hybrid as I am with a wedge. But at 85 miles an hour, oh, 87, pretty close. With a pretty strong lofted P790, I'm getting 180 yards carry. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, especially if someone's got a tight dispersion from that range, but with that kind of club head speed, you can go to more traditional lofted iron. It also means if your iron's at 85 miles an hour, your driver should be around 95 miles an hour plus, somewhere around that ballpark. Meaning you're going to be able to get 240, 250 yards off the tee, which is a massive advantage. Not to mention you'd be able to swing your fairway wood at 90 miles an hour, which for me is kind of the minimum amount of club head speed to, well, get this thing even airborne. Even though in quite a lot of cases, depending on launch factors, a 5-wood is still very much appropriate. The point is club head speed helps, and it gives you a vast array of clubs you can use. I'm not saying you need club head speed to be amazing at this golf game, but it definitely has its benefits. And the fact that a lot of you are just as efficient with a 50% swing as you are at 100 is the knowledge I want to share with you guys, so hopefully you can transform that over the winter. Any questions on your bag or swing, sasgolfacademy.com. Catch you guys later.